right, you guys, so these are the supplies that we are going to need to make our fingerless gloves. So all we need is our yarn. The yarn that I used in this project is the Comfort Cotton Blend by Lion Brand, and is in my stash, you guys. And so this one is called Driftwood, and we need a 5mm hook. Okay, so I'm going to clear this out and I'll be right back so we can start our. All right, you guys, I am all back, and so this is what we got going on. So I am going to show you guys how to do it in this yarn, because the variegated yarn you wouldn't be able to see the stitches. But I do have this glove that I finished. All I need to do is just turn it and seam it. I wanted to let you guys see the construction of what you're going to do, and it's so easy, you guys. So don't, you know, get deterred from it, how it looks. It's really easy. So we have right here, we have our band right here, and this is where we're going to start here. And then I have the stitch markers right here, because we're going to work 8 rows up, and then we are going to start decreasing. The cool thing about this is that you're only decreasing on the sides. So in the beginning and the end of each stitch, you are decreasing. Okay, the stitch that we are using today is the extended single crochet. If you guys have been on my channel any length, you guys know that this is one of my favorite stitches, because you get the tightness of the stitch, but you get the length of a double crochet. So I adore this stitch. And so when we get to do our decreases, and then we will just go, we will, you know, work that straight, because you already have your size. Now what I did, every arm is different. Okay, so my arm right here, this muscle, this is where the glove is going to start, right? Because you're going to pull it up. I have one here. I wanted to put it on so I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So this is the ridge right here. Okay, so when we're creating this band right here, this is double crochet, single crochet, working in the back loop. I just fitted my arm each time I got to a certain length to see how far I need to go around. And mine is 40 chains. I'm sorry, 40 ridges, which I am calling these for the band. Okay, so mine, it ended up to be 40. And then as I worked it up, when I got to my 8th row, and that's where it got a little big for me, so I marked it off right here, and then I just started decreasing where there was like a lot of bulk on the sides for me. And so then that's when I started decreasing, and then when it came up here, which is right here, it fit my hand perfectly. So that's when I got to here, I decided to stop decreasing and just continue, because it fit my hand really nice. And you can see here, I do have a little bit of bulk, but I like it so the glove can be, you know, relaxed, not so snug on me. And so that's why I left it like that. So when you are making your gloves, you want to make your ridge. You can get halfway, and then you can measure your muscle part right here, because this is the biggest part right here, which is your muscle. And then you want to see how far you need to go up where you want your decreases to start. Okay, and so with me, let's take this off. My arm is like a medium arm, I would say. It's like a medium arm. And so for me, I stopped on the 8th row. and then I decreased, and then I did like that. So we're going to start right here. Let me show you guys how I made the band. So I'm going to slide that. Let me get my hook. And I think a lot of you guys know how to do, you know, the band. Let me move this out the way. I'll slide that over there. Because if you've made hats or anything like that, you know, you create the same ridge or band for hats. And if you haven't, then this is going to be a treat. You can keep this in your arsenal and your tool belt of crochet. Okay, so and another thing, depending on how far you want your band to be, how high. I mean, you have so many options here that it is just awesome, right? And this is one of the things that I love, that you can create it, you know, you can create your own. I just want to give you the instructions of how I made mine, and you can totally take this to the moon and back with with so many variations. So we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so I did my 10. Now we're going to put our hook in a second chain from the hook, and that's gonna, and we're going to do a single crochet going down. Okay, now this is all single crochet. The body of the work is the extended crochet. Okay, and so we just want to single crochet all the way down, and you should have 9 if you are making yours just like mine. You should have 9. Almost there. I don't know if you guys know, I do have an Instagram and a Facebook. I would love to connect with you guys over there. I do a lot of stuff over there and post stuff. I do quilting and hand embroidery and all that good stuff over there. I be posting. So I would love to connect with you guys over there. Okay, so I'm all done. I'm to the end. And then you want to chain 1 and turn your work. And so this is where you start working in the back loop. Okay, so this is our back loops right here. Let me show you. So if you see the V, which is right here, I don't know if you can, there's the V, and you want to work right here in that back loop. Okay, let me get the yarn, and so we're going to work in that back loop. Let me turn it. Maybe you can see it a little better here. Go a little slower so you can see it. Okay, so here's that V, which is right there. So here's that V, and then we're just working right there in that back loop. Okay, and you will do this the whole time until you're working each stitch, each back loop, and you would just continue to do that until you get your rows that fits your arm. And if you want, you can do it the same. I did 40. Mine was 40 rows, and you can gauge it from there if you like and keep on going, or less. And then you want to chain 1, turn your work, and then continue to work in those back loops. Okay, And then that's, this is what this is here, right? And so that's your back loops. And so now you will work all the way up to your 8th row, and then you would, I have stitch markers here because I wanted to show you guys. So you will work all the way up to here, and then you would decrease. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to decrease when you are doing a project, okay? So, because you're only decreasing on both sides right here. And if you know how to decrease, that's awesome. But if you don't, I'm here for you. I'm going to just go ahead and do some single crochets. You know what? Let's do this because I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to do a couple of stitches, and then I am going to show you how to decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'll go back, do 10 single crochets, and then I'll show you how to do the decrease. Because once you learn how to do a decrease, I remember just being like, oh my goodness, they're decreasing and increasing, and it's such a, you know, if you never did it before, it's kind of really scary because it you know, totally deterred me from it. I was like, oh no. But you know, you have to try it. And at that time, which was long time ago, I didn't try it. So, and so eventually I tried it, and I end up liking it. I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I just want to encourage you, if you do have, you know, those decreases and increases and all of that, it's really easy to do it. You can do so many projects with your decreases and increases. It do create the things that we want to make, and so I do encourage you to give it a try. You can't go wrong with it, and it's in all of our crochet endeavors. Okay, so I did 2 rows, and so I'm going to chain 1. Now, when you do a decrease, you want to go into your first chain, which is, your first stitch, because we're not in a chain anymore. So your first stitch, which is, mine is right here, and you want to bring up that loop, and you want to have, you have 2 right here. Okay. And so now you want to go into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and then you have 3 on your hook. Okay, so when you see this in a pattern, it's probably going to say 2 together. Some of them say 2 together, and some of them say decreases and increases and stuff. So this is a decrease because you're taking away stitches. Okay, so this is a decrease. So, and then you just yarn over and you go all the way through. Okay, and so I'm going to do that again. We're going to decrease these 2 right here. So decreasing is you're taking stitches away, and increases is when you are adding stitches to your project to extend it, to make it longer. And so with the decrease, we're going to go into 1 stitch, bring up a loop, and then you want to go into the stitch right next to it, bring up that loop, and you have 3 loops on your hook, and then you want to take it all the way through. When you're doing a single crochet, when you're doing a double crochet decrease, you are doing the same concept, right? You want to yarn over, go through 1 stitch, then you want to go through 1 stitch and come back up, and then you want to go through 3, and then you want to go through 2. And that was a little bonus because we're not doing a double. But back at hand. So that's how you do a decrease, you guys. And so that's all I did when I got here. On each side, I did a decrease and then a regular row. And what I mean by a regular row is whatever that decrease yield me. So if I took 2 from here and 2 from here and it gave me 30, let's just say 30, then I did 30 on a regular row. Then I decreased, and then I did a regular row, and I decreased, and I did a regular row. And so I did that all the way up to this piece up here where my hand was nice and snug. Let's put our glove back on. So when my hand was nice and snug, this is where I stopped at. And after I did all this, and they work up really fast, you guys. Then all I did is I folded it over and just seamed it up. When you get to right here where your thumb is, you want to, let me put that, stick that back in there. I haven't weaved in my ends yet, as you guys can see. So let's turn it. I'll turn it this way so it can look the same. So when you get to your thumb, you want to measure, right? So you just want to put your hand in here and you want to just take it over to see, you know, how far that you want, you know, how you want it to be. And as you can see, mine is fine. And then I will come in and I will take this part right here and do that part and then seam up this part. So I will seam all the way up to my wrist, and then I will take this part here and then I will seam right here where my thumb is, starting from the top using my darning needle and then seaming down to my thumb. Okay, and then that's it. And I do have a another tutorial on my channel where I did Tunisian crochet fingerless gloves, and I will list that down below just in case you would like to make some long ones and some short ones. And you can do that, but I will list that down below in the description box. I will list everything in the description box for you guys. I hope that you do give it a try. If you like the video, give it a thumb up, and if you like what I'm doing on my channel, go ahead and consider subscribing. I will see you guys in the next one.